For complete setup, preventive maintenance, and safe operating instructions, please read the operator's manuals that have been enclosed with this tool package. Your BobTail 940 repair kit contains a 940 power rig with 15-foot power cord, the 3585 PT hydraulic installation tool with 12-foot hose, nose assembly, 10,000 psi liquid-filled pressure gauge, comprehensive instruction manual kit, including a cross-reference fastener chart and Huck certified service center listing, a guide to proper inspection, instructions on how to use the pressure gauge, a pressure setting list for the nose options, as well as this training video. And if you purchased one, a patented BobTail color cutter nose assembly for repairs. Everything you'll need to get started. First, you'll need to set up your power rig. By the way, the 940 power rig is shipped without oil, so don't operate the unit until it has been filled properly. To fill it with oil, simply remove the filler plug and dipstick assembly. Insert a funnel. Fill with the required amount of Dexron 3 transmission fluid, approximately 2.6 gallons. And check the fluid level by fully screwing in the dipstick and removing it. Make sure the level falls between the two hash marks on the dipstick. Remember, it's important to check the fluids on your power rig regularly. Next, we'll connect the hydraulic lines from the tool to the power rig. Insert the quick disconnect couplers. Plug in the 24-volt trigger wire. Then, be sure to cycle the hydraulic fluid through the lines. Hold the trigger down for about 10 to 15 seconds to allow the fluid to fill both hydraulic lines, completely priming the system. Cycle the tool a few times to ensure the piston is in the full forward position. Before using the power rig, adjust the pressure setting according to the pressure setting chart. To do so, remove the top hydraulic hose and replace it with the pressure gauge. Depress and hold the trigger. Read the pressure setting. Adjust the pressure by releasing the jam nut, then turning the thumb screw located opposite the fill plug. Turning the screw in increases the pull line pressure. Turning the screw out reduces the pull line pressure. Be sure to retighten the jam nut after adjusting the pressure. Now, it's time to return the quick disconnect from the tool to the pull side of the pump. Next, you're ready to attach the nose assembly. Begin by attaching the puller and adapter to the piston. Just thread it on as shown. You'll know it's on correctly when the machine flat at the base of the puller adapter disappears just below the cylinder housing. Back the puller off until the ball falls into place on one of the grooves on the piston. Slide the anvil over the puller. Line up the puller with the opening in the anvil. Then tap on the anvil until the puller closes and the anvil slides on. If, after the anvil is attached, the puller is not open enough to accept the fastener, you may have to back the puller off an additional quarter to half turn. Attach the anvil using the half shells. Slide the lock ring over the half shells. Snap the true arc ring into position using the snap ring pliers. And cycle the tool. You are now ready to install a fastener. Insert the pin into the pre-drilled hole. Spin the collar with the flanged base towards the work surface. Keeping the tool straight in line with the fastener, place the tool over the end of the fastener until the puller bottoms out on the shoulder of the fastener. Depressing the trigger will engage the power rig, starting the collar swaging process. Swage the collar until the anvil bottoms out at the base of the flange. As this happens, release the trigger. To make sure the fastener is installed properly, all it takes is a quick visual inspection. The collar contains dots that serve as installation indicators. If the fastener is properly installed, at least one of the dots will have a line crossing it. The line shown is a witness mark, indicating a proper swage. If the dots are not marked, you may still have an acceptable swage. To check, measure the length of the swage and the diameter of the collar using a swage gauge or calipers. If the measurements fall within the range specified in the brochure or coordination drawings, the collar is properly swaged. On an incomplete swage like this one, it's easy to see that the collar hasn't been swaged all the way down to the bottom because there are no witness marks. To complete the swage, repeat the steps. If you need to install a different diameter nose, or to use the optional bobtail collar cutter, simply reverse the assembly process. Remove the true arc ring, pull off the lock ring, remove the half shells, remove the anvil, and unscrew the puller and adapter from the piston. As an alternative to torching, the optional collar cutter tool ensures clean, safe fastener removal. Attach the collar cutter puller assembly, just like the other nose assembly. Screw the cutter assembly onto the piston until the machine flat just disappears within the piston housing, just as you did with the nose assembly. Line up the dowel pin to the grooves machined into the cutter sleeve. Slide the anvil over the cutter. Engage the trigger to bring the piston back. This allows the anvil holder to bottom out. Attach the half shells. Release the trigger to disengage the hydraulics and slide the lock ring over the half shells. Install the true arc ring with the snap ring pliers, making sure it snaps securely into place. Notice the position of the puller in relation to the cutter anvil. The piston must be fully forward to engage the fastener. If you cannot insert the fastener, activate the trigger quickly to bring the piston forward. To remove the bobtail fastener with the collar cutter, place the nose over the pintail until the cutter puller bottoms out on the shoulder of the fastener. Engage the tool and hold the trigger down until you hear a distinct pop. The pop indicates that the collar has been completely cut. Notice how cleanly and precisely the collar cutter removes the fastener. Please use caution when handling cut collars. The pieces will be hot, with sharp edges that will cut fingers. If the collar does not fully cut, be sure the blades on the cutter nose line up with the original cut marks before attempting a second cut. Bang the nose on a table to be sure the collar cutter is free of collar fragments or shards. Disassembling the collar cutter is easy. Remove the true arc ring, lock ring, half shells, and the collar cutter anvil. Quickly depress the trigger to bring the piston forward and unscrew the cutter puller assembly to remove. A few easy care and maintenance steps will help keep your Bobtail 940 repair kit in top working order. For instance, it's important to clean the puller often. You should also lubricate the puller with anti-seize regularly. This will increase the life of the puller.